You were a very good audience. I appreciate that. You were very attentive and quiet, which was lovely. Thank you. Let's give another round of applause for the musicians. And if you have a couple of minutes, you can stay right in your seats, and when the bell rings, we'll dismiss. Okay? Get that.
Yeah, so like I said before, we are Ensemble Connect from Carnegie Hall. My name is Brian. I play the horn, or the French horn, the only brass instrument in this ensemble. And the piece that we just played for you is called Quintet for Winds No. 1. It's by an American composer whose name is David Maslaka. And it's really special to me because he's from my home state of Montana. Do you know where Montana is? It's like really far.
I think so. I don't know about geography.
So today we're going to be talking all about musical limitations or rules, and basically how having limitations in music can actually really help spark creativity. So like I said, I play horn, and one of the limitations of my instrument is that I really probably can't play as fast of notes as my colleagues up here. But one thing that does really well is I can play really loud without having to put in a lot of effort, which is nice.
Hi, I'm Miss Boyack, or Catherine, you might know me as Miss Boyack, but I come from Utah, right next to the mountains, so way out west, and I play the flute, and the flute can't really go as low as like percussion or bassoon can, yeah, can't do that, so, but it can play really fast, and it can play really high, and so can its little sister, the piccolo, which is like a mini flute. It's just an octave higher. So let me show you how high both of them can go.
There's more.
Hello everyone, my name is Joe, and I play the oboe. It's this instrument here. Like the flute, it is a treble instrument, so I can't play very low like Marty over here can. You can hear that in the solo right now, yeah. But I can go pretty high. Not quite as high as Catherine over there, but something the oboe does really well is play kind of really beautiful melodies because it has a really rich and complex timbre that you get all the way down to the low register. So.
And I'm Marty. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, otherwise known as New York, but slightly to the left. And I play bassoon. Bassoon is a little bit like oboe. It's just large. And as my colleagues have mentioned, I can play real low. But the other thing that I like about the bassoon is that it has also a really cool timbre to it that no other instrument can emulate. One limitation, though, is that bassoon can't play all that loud, like Mr. Brian over here. So composers have to think about when to emphasize it and when to let it sort of blend in with the texture.
Hello, my name is Oliver. I'm from Michigan, and I'm a percussionist. And today I'm playing on an electronic vibraphone. So the vibraphone is usually played with 4 mallets, and it's a really big instrument. So whereas my colleagues can reach all their keys with their fingers, in order to reach all my notes, I need to move my body. I can move my arms and my mallets. But I get a pretty cool sound that I can do a lot with 4 notes.
passionate about. One of my favorite aspects of music in general is how a composer or someone who writes music can take like these tiny little things, like just a note or two, like a simple rhythm, and use that to make an entire composition that's like really meaningful and like tell a story almost.
Yeah, and having rules to follow in music can help us like create that story, create that meaning.
The piece that we played for you earlier, Ms. Longa's Quintet, uses these limitations to create something really cool. The music sounds very complicated, as you heard, but he actually limited himself to writing just two main parts. The first one is the melody and the horn, which you'll hear right now. And the second are the things underneath that completely change the landscape of the melody. Let's listen to the melody first.
So I don't know about y'all, but that melody just kind of makes me think of like this dream I had a couple weeks ago, where I was like flying above New York City, and I was something about like the way it like starts low and just like takes off. I think of it every time. So we're gonna play the same section one more time, and I'm just curious, like how what my colleagues are doing changes the vibe or the whole feel of what I just played. So they're gonna be playing the accompaniment, or what accompanies me. And yeah, just listen for how it changes it.
But we've added rhythmic arpeggios in the vibraphone, the bassoon, and the oboe.
Anyone want to tell me what an arpeggio is? Oh yeah.
I think like when multiple notes are like played like one after the other.
Yeah, when multiple notes in like a scale or a chord are played one after the other. So we've got
yeah, exactly. So an arpeggio is for 3 notes specifically, or
So the composer in this piece uses an arpeggio in so many different ways. We're going to play all the ways that we have arpeggios in this piece and all the different forms they can take. And we're really curious to hear how they differ, what they make you think of. So be thinking of what it makes you think of as we play.
So here's the first one.
we played for you 4 different ways that this composer uses the same thing in arpeggio. Can anyone raise their hand and tell us what they heard that was different or what they really liked about one of these? We could tell you what we like, but we're more interested to hear what you thought.
Well, there's one like very obvious thing that I'm going to point out for everyone. That if you listen closely, you can pretty much hear like not only like going fast, but in a way the two like were harmonizing together in a sense. If that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. I hear that too. Even though it's broken chords, I do hear the harmonic sequence there.
Any thoughts? Any other thoughts? What would it make you think of? Yeah, we're going to run.
They're all traveling at different speeds, and so if it like play together, there's like very interesting dynamic.
Totally. She said they're traveling at different speeds. So that changes the momentum of the piece a lot.
Ooh, drowning in mics. So, yeah, we really love how Slanka uses arpeggios to create excitement and momentum in this piece. So I'd like us to see if we can hear the momentum build when we play a longer section. Nice. So we just looked at how we can use something so simple like an arpeggio in so many different ways to change how the music feels. But there are a lot more musical areas where limitations make things interesting. So why don't we take a look at how this works for rhythm?
Why don't we try putting together a rhythm ourselves? Something that composers can do sometimes is take like a tiny little rhythm, something that repeats, and they can build an entire piece based on just that little rhythm.
So, pieces in classical music and a lot of pop music is based on a subdivision of 4 notes per beat. Sounds like this: 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a...
So what if I wanted to use a subdivision of 7 notes per beat? We're gonna try this as a group. So everybody repeat after me. Avocado, pineapple, avocado, pineapple, avocado, pineapple, avocado, pineapple. Get it to the cut. Avocado, pineapple, avocado, pineapple, avocado, pineapple. Okay, now we've got the 7's rhythm going. I want to see if we can try adding notes. So you're gonna have to stick with me. We're gonna add notes to that 7 subdivision here. Okay, here we go. Avocado, pineapple, 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 avocado, pineapple. Nice. I think that sounds pretty cool. Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, so if we did this forever, we kind of hear the same thing over and over again. So one way a composer can take a really repetitive idea like this and keep it really interesting and pass it in with different instruments, so you get a different take on the idea each time you hear someone's play.
So, we're going to try this with two groups. We're going to split you right down the middle. And we're going to go here. This half of the room. You're going to do our avocado pineapple sevens rhythm, like slapping the legs or something like that. Yeah? Following all the bird riding, okay? And this half of the room is going to follow Marty and Joe, and you're going to snap. Now what we're trying to do, yeah, so the snaps need to be together because otherwise it's not going to be our sevens, right? So we gotta be super tight on this, like really in the pocket, okay? And so what we're trying to do is pass these off seamlessly. So sevens over here with no break, just repeating it around. Okay, so we'll have our four demonstrators up here try it first. And then. Okay. And join in. Here we go. Are we ready? Ready? And. Yeah. Okay, good. Really good.
Yeah, so we talked about arpeggios earlier. Music has lots of these fancy Italian terms for very simple ideas, and this is one of them. A repetitive rhythm or repetitive idea in a piece is called an ostinato, and the composer Carnegie Hall used it as kind of the base for one of his 6 bagatelles for wind quintet. The bagatelle is a short, sweet, instrumental composition, and this third bagatelle, we get a really beautiful melody on top of the ostinato rhythm that we learned together. So as we play this piece, see if you can follow who's playing the ostinato rhythm and how the melody changes the way you hear the ostinato.
by Dave Maslanka, the quintet that we played, we learned that arpeggios can be like the base of an entire piece, and yeah, I think it's cool. And the third bagatelle by Lady that we just played, we learned that we can create an entire piece based on literally just one tiny little rhythm that repeats. But we have skipped over one pretty big limitation in music, which is the number of notes that we're using. So usually there are 12 notes that we use between C and B natural. So we're curious, like, what would happen if we kind of limited that and maybe let's use 4. So in this next piece that we're going to play, there are only 4 notes. There is a C, an E flat, an E natural, and a G. Those are literally the only notes in the entire piece. And sometimes, I don't know, let's put Oliver on the spot. Let's see if you can like make up a composition, and those are your only notes. Yeah, something like that. So we're going to play now the first bagatelle by Lady, and like Oliver's brand new composition, those are the only 4 notes in the whole piece.
Great, so as the last thing we do together, we're going to invite you all to craft a composition that blends the limited notes idea of the first bagatelle that we just played with the melody and ostinato structure of the third bagatelle.
So, in New York City, here we all go around by taking the subway train. So when I come here to Scholars Academy on a basically semi-weekly basis, I take the A train from 2 stops from the top and ride it all the way down here. So I will be the A train. My note will be A. People's choice.
Yeah, so I live over in Brooklyn, and the only trains that are near my house are the R train and the F train. The R, however, isn't a note that I know how to play. It's not the name of any note, unfortunately. Also, the R train's awful. I don't like it. So my note is going to be F.
And I would have also said F, but Joe took F. So I take the C train when I go to work at my school, which is also in Brooklyn, so I'm going to be C.
My school is also in Brooklyn. And when I take the train there, I usually take the D train, so my note is D.
And when the D train is not running, I take the B. It's slow, but it works. So now we're going to look for some volunteers. The first volunteer is going to help us craft a rhythmic ostinato. So like before, we're going to have 7 notes for this ostinato, and the volunteer is going to come up and point at us to create the order of these 7 notes. Since there's only 5 of us, there's going to need to be some repetition to get to 7. So who wants to help us with this part?
Yeah, come on up.
Great, thank you.
Alright, so now that we have our 7-note ostinato, it's the second volunteer's job to help us make a melody. So just like the last person, you can point at us to choose the order of the notes we play, but you have a little more freedom. You can repeat notes again, but some notes can be shorter or longer depending on how long you're pointing at us. And Oliver, there on percussion, is not an option because he will be playing the ostinato. So, anyone? Oh, alright, I saw you. You wanna go? Anybody but? Okay.
And you can repeat like eight. Hey, why don't you come over and no worries, it's all good. Yeah. That's your That's awesome.
Alright, we gotta practice that real quick. Thank you. Alright. Everybody, ready to see that? Alright, Catherine's gonna demonstrate for us. Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you. So now that we've got our ostinato and our melody for our composition, why don't we put it all together? Y'all wrote that. Good job. Beautiful. So thank you so much to all of you for helping us write a brand new piece of music, the Scholars Academy World Premiere. We had a few simple limitations on what we gave you, the parameters that we gave you to create this piece of music, and it turned out really great. So we have so many artistic possibilities. You can always do a lot with a little.
So we have one more piece to play for you that kind of uses that same idea of our world premiere. There's a limited number of notes. This is one of the Lady Backtails we have not heard yet. This is the second one. Yeah. Thanks for spending the morning with us. We've had a great time.
Thank you.